Good afternoon, everyone. Today is March the 26th, and today is also part 49 of my journey to becoming a voice actor. Um, it has been a it's been a while. It's been a minute. Um, I think the last time I streamed was probably I want to say like 3 weeks ago, something like that. You know what? Actually, instead of us just guess, I'm gonna check, but I predict it's gonna be about 3 weeks ago or something like that. Maybe even a month. Oh no, 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. Okay, not as bad as I thought. Um, yeah. It's been a while. Um, Usually I start these streams by going over announcements that I have. But in this case, to tell the truth, I have a lot going on. Um, I guess the biggest thing I can say announcement wise is I'm currently rehearsing in a play. So I will be performing in a play this May. It's a comedy called Stag and Doe. This is the first theater production, like professional theater production play I've ever been in. Um, and it's volunteer too, so I am not being paid for this role. It's all volunteer, but it's been an amazing, excuse me, it's been an amazing experience. I've been having an absolute blast rehearsing with my fellow cast members and the rest of the crew. The director's an amazing guy, super sweet. Um, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So my life has been mainly revolving around that for the past, I want to say, month and a half now. Around, yeah, a month and a half, give or take. Um, Crazy part is now I am completely off book, so I no longer am using the book to remember my lines. Sometimes I have to call for line, but I pretty much have all my lines memorized, which is great. It's just fine tuning and remembering when I say certain things, and the cues are really important and all that good stuff. Um but yeah, so that's what's been going on with that. I'm gonna move this a little closer if I can. There we go. Okay. So that's the announcement number one. Um, Announcement number two. I am hoping that I can start streaming consistently again with a practice. Um, I don't have anything planned in terms of posts for shorts. I want to keep posting, but right now I'm at a spot where I kind of want to change things up. I started writing or started using ChatGPT to come up with a script for part 4 of the Backrooms, um, my Backrooms series. And some of you seem to like it, actually. Some of them didn't do as well, but some of them did really well. So I think there is an interest in that. So I might continue with that. I might practice some of that tonight. Um, but besides that, I want to look into maybe, maybe reading a bit, posting myself like reading stories or something like that. I saw a friend of mine post a story he was reading. It was Dracula, and that's kind of inspired me to think about like, oh, maybe there's like, actually, yeah, now that I think about it, maybe there's Greek myths that I can tell the full story of that, which would be cool. And I think I have the perfect one we can start with now that I'm See, this happens too to me is when I speak out loud and I'm saying ideas out loud sometimes the gears start spinning. I'm like, "Oh, well shit, like yeah, I can do this. And actually, I can do this." That's what I just had right now. Um and the inspiration for the first story is based off what I wear around my neck every single day. I'm not wearing it right now because it makes noise during recording, but that's okay. I got it right here beside me in all its glory. All right. So, with that being said, let us begin. So the first thing, as always, with these streams, we're going to test. We're going to make sure the audio is all good. And make sure it's not picking up the wrong audio. I have a feeling it might try to do that with this. We'll see. Let's give it a shot. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Sounds good to me. Perfect. Okay. So the first thing, I practiced this a little bit. I actually recorded one part of it. Yeah, it was a rough copy.
Welcome to the Backrooms, where no two levels are ever the same. Today's level is the Abyssal Trench. This level presents a survival difficulty class of 5. Safety, highly dangerous. Stability, highly unstable. Entity count, entity infestation. Day 1. Arrival. I've stumbled into a realm I'm calling the Abyssal Trench. The darkness is oppressive, and the air feels thick with malice. This level's survival difficulty stands at a harrowing class 5. Safety is a concept alien here, amidst the highly unstable terrain and an infestation of entities. My first impressions are of a world untouched by light, a place where shadows reign supreme. Encounters. The silence is deceptive. I've heard movements that suggest I'm far from alone. Entities, the Abyssal Watchers, lurk in the shadows. Their eyes, if you can call them that, shine with a malevolent glow. Survival strategies. Light attracts attention, but without it, I'm blind. I've decided to use it sparingly, flicking my flashlight on only when absolutely necessary. Sound seems to distract the entities, a fact I plan to use to my advantage. Personal reflections. There's a part of me that wonders if I finally reached my limit. Yet surrendering to despair is not an option. I must find a way through, or at least, a way to endure.
So that sounds pretty good. And it's cool too, because it's a little switch up, because usually I'm like, welcome to the Backrooms. Where no two levels are ever the same. Today's level, blah 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 blah, and then I keep going like, in the heart of the Backrooms lies, and this was, but this is more like a journal entry style, so it's like more personal. That was the first part I recorded. That sounds pretty good. Let me see how much more of that I have. That was the first bit. Yeah, that was day 1. So there's different days that I can record. Let's give it a try. We'll do the rest of these. These won't take long to put together or edit, so we can get through this. But we'll take our time. So we're not gonna speed through like blah, 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 like, you know, day 3 adapting, the cost of darkness, the abyssal. Like, we're not gonna rush. We'll go slow, and we're just gonna have fun with it. So we have a deeper voice. We're not doing, you know, regular kind of Stephen talking voice. We're doing deeper Aurelius voice kind of deal. All right, Here we go. Let's test out the background noise. Hopefully it's not too bad. That's pretty good overall. It's about negative 52. That's very doable. That's actually very good. I'll just put some of these maybe here. I don't know if this will help at all, but I'll try. Just put more of these on top. You can't see it, but I've got like a tower of foam in front of me. All right, here we go. Day 3. Adapting. The constant darkness of the abyssal trench is a challenge to both navigation and spirit. The terrain shifts beneath my feet, tricking me into circles. Encounters. Close calls with the abyssal watchers have become a horrifying norm. Their presence is suffocating, making every step a gamble. Survival strategies. I've started marking my path with scraps of cloth torn from my clothing. It's a way to combat the shifting landscape. Sound distractions continue to be my salvation, buying precious seconds to move undetected. Personal reflections. Personal reflections. Isolation weighs heavily on me. I find myself talking aloud, if only to hear a voice in the darkness. Hope is a fragile thing, but it persists. That one felt okay. We'll see. We'll see about that one. Day 3. Day 3. Adapting. Adapting. The constant darkness of the abyssal trench is a challenge to both navigation and spirit. Spirit. The terrain shifts beneath my feet. Feet, tricking me and tricking me into circles. Encounters. Close calls with the abyssal watchers have become a horrifying norm. Their presence is suffocating. Suffocating, making every step a gamble. Every step
a gamble. Making every step a gamble. Survival strategies. Strategies. I've started marking my path with scraps of cloth torn from my clothing. It's a way to combat the shifting landscape. Sound distractions continue to be my salvation. Buying precious seconds to move undetected. Personal reflections. Personal reflections. Isolation weighs heavily on me. I find myself talking aloud. If only to hear a voice in the darkness. Hope is a fragile thing. But it persists. Day 3. Adapting. The constant darkness of the abyssal trench is a challenge to both navigation and spirit. The terrain shifts beneath my feet, tricking me into circles. Encounters. Close calls with the abyssal watchers have become a horrifying norm. Their presence is suffocating, making every step a gamble. Survival strategies. I've started marking my path with scraps of cloth torn from my clothing. It's a way to combat the shifting landscape. Sound distractions continue to be my salvation, buying precious seconds to move undetected. Personal reflections. Isolation weighs heavily on me. I find myself talking aloud, if only to hear a voice in the darkness. Hope is a fragile thing, but it persists.
Not bad. Not bad. You know, it's okay. The thing is, I think I want to try and do something different, because the problem is I don't have images to go with this anymore. I was using ChatGPT to make AI images to go with the backrooms, but I mean, I could use images from Google Images, but I don't know. I feel like with this, it's better this way. Um, so let's try something different. We'll save this as a rough copy for part 2 if I ever want to come back to this. It's not bad. I would consider this a rough copy though, not a good copy. So we'll say this is rough copy part 2. Export that. Delete that. All right. Let's look up the story that I would like to tell. I'm looking for. Interesting. There's no real story. Okay, so I'll tell you right now. The one who I'm trying to do a Greek myth story based off is Hercules. Um, you know what? Ironically enough, I think ChatGPT is gonna save us. We're gonna just ask for it to describe to us the story of Hercules in an actual story format. See, that wasn't so hard. That's what this is a good tool for, I will say. Is if you're trying to look up something and you can't find it, if you ask ChatGPT to look it up for you or describe something to you, it will do it in a way that makes sense. That's what makes it really good. So, okay, we've got an actual proper script now for the story. So let's get into it. Once upon a time in the ancient land of Greece. There we go. Okay, so now we've got something to work with. So we're gonna make a new doc, new document. So we'll go here. Uh, All right, so let's just. I like this intro. It's good. It's good for background. All right. All right. Let's begin our story of Hercules and the 12 labors. I will set a timer just so we're honest here, so we can keep track of the time. That would be 2 and okay. Okay. Sorry. Just had to respond to something. All right. Okay. Let's give this a shot. Let's go. So because this is a longer one, we're going to record this in chunks. So I'll start with these 3 main paragraphs, and then we're going to do each of the labors that Hercules does. We'll probably do it in sets of 2. We'll see. It depends. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Greece, there lived a hero of unparalleled strength and courage, known as Hercules, or Heracles in Greek mythology. Born the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman, Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took his first breath. As Hercules grew, so did his strength, surpassing that of any mortal man. However, his path to glory was not without trials. His stepmother, Hera, despised him for being the son of Zeus and sought to thwart his destiny at every turn. Hera's jealousy led her to inflict madness upon Hercules, causing him to unknowingly commit a terrible crime, the murder of his own wife and children. Overcome with grief and remorse upon realizing what he had done, Hercules sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi, who declared that he must serve King Eurystheus. Let me actually make sure that's right. How do we pronounce it?
King Eurystheus.
Eurystheus.
Βασιλιάς Ευρυσθέας.
Okay, that's
King Eurystheus.
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 Eurystheus. Okay. King Eurystheus. King Eurystheus. King Hercules sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi, who declared that he must serve King Eurystheus and complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks, known as the 12 labors, to atone for his sins.
Delphi.
It is Delphi. Okay. It's not Delphi, Delphi. All right, let's give this a shot. Okay. Overcome with grief and remorse upon realizing what he had done, Hercules sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi, who declared that he must serve King Eurystheus and complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks, known as the 12 labors, to atone for his sins. And so, Hercules set out on his epic journey, each labor more daunting than the last. And then there's one more pronunciation I need to get down.
Alcmene.
Alcamene.
Alcmene.
pronouncenames.com.
Alchimini.
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 Alchemini. 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 So it's like alchemy. Alchemini. All right. Got it. Born the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman, Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took his first breath. All right. Oh, that is terrible background noise. Holy shit. I know why. Okay. I know why. We'll have to just wait for a sec. All right. I think it's a good time to just take a small break so the noise subsides. But when it's gone, I'll be right back. Promise. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, and we are back. Noise has subsided. It's time to resume. Had a nice little break. Let's get back into it. I'm sure this is going to probably take us about the hour to get through. We might not even make it through the whole thing because we have to edit everything, right? Well, how we're going to do this is I'm going to split it up into parts. So I'll do... we'll go the first beginning paragraph, edit that, and then we'll go... The first labor. And so Hercules set out on his epic journey, each labor more daunting than the last. The first of his 12 labors was the Nemean lion. As Hercules ventured into the dark depths of the Nemean forest, he encountered the dreaded lion, its mane bristling with power, and its claws sharper than any blade. With sheer strength and cunning, Hercules grappled with the lion, finally choking the life out of it with his bare hands. As he returned to King Eurystheus, the townsfolk marveled at the sight of Hercules, draped in the impenetrable hide of the lion, a testament to his unmatched prowess. The second labor was the Lernaean Hydra. In the murky swamps of Lerna, Hercules confronted the Hydra, each of its heads hissing venom and malice. All right, let's give it a shot. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Greece, there lived a hero of unparalleled strength and courage, known as Hercules, or Heracles in Greek mythology. Born the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman, Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took... Let's try that again. Alcmene. Alcmene.
Alcmene.
pronouncenames.com.
Alchimini.
Alcmene. Yeah. Alcmene. King Eurystheus. Delphi. Alcmene. Something that happened, if anybody's watching this, I don't even know, but I just got an email about a meeting that I have just set up for tomorrow. This is the most important meeting of my life, potentially. I'm not gonna say what, because you can call it superstition, you can call it paranoia. It's probably a mix of both, if we're being honest. But I don't want to say it. But it could be something really good. But we'll see. I'm anxious for tomorrow, that's for sure. I'm anxious, but I'm also excited. I have preparing I need to do. I need to make sure I have everything together in advance. But if all goes well, we'll see. If all goes well, I'll probably cry. I'll be honest. So we'll see about that. But I won't say what. I won't. I haven't even told my parents yet. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's give this another try. All right, the whole point of me opening that. Stupid. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Greece, there lived a hero of unparalleled strength and courage, known as Hercules, or Heracles in Greek mythology. Born the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman, Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took his first breath. As Hercules grew, so did his strength, surpassing that of any mortal man. However, his path to glory was not without trials. His stepmother, Hera, despised him for being the son of Zeus and sought to thwart his destiny at every turn. Hera's jealousy led her to inflict madness upon Hercules, causing him to unknowingly commit a terrible crime, the murder of his own wife and children. Overcome with grief and remorse upon realizing what he had done, Hercules sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi, who declared that he must serve King Eurystheus and complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks, known as the 12 labors, to atone for his sins. And so, Hercules set out on his epic journey, each labor more daunting than the last. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Greece, there lived a hero of unparalleled strength and courage, known as Hercules. Or Heracles in Greek mythology. Hercules, or Heracles, or Heracles in Greek mythology. Born the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman. Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took his first breath. As Hercules grew, so did his strength, surpassing that of any mortal man. However, his path to glory was not without trials. His stepmother, Hera, despised him for being the son of Zeus, and sought to thwart his destiny at every turn. Hera's jealousy led her to inflict every turn. Hera's jealousy led her to inflict madness upon Hercules. Causing him to unknowingly commit a terrible crime. The murder of his own wife and children. Overcome with grief and remorse upon realizing what he had done,
Hercules sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi, who declared that he must serve King Eurystheus and complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks. Known as the 12 labors to atone for his sins. And so, Hercules set out on his epic journey, each labor more daunting than the last. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Greece, there lived a hero of unparalleled strength and courage. Ancient land of Greece, there lived a hero of unparalleled strength and courage, known as Hercules, or Heracles in Greek mythology. Born the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman, Hercules was destined. There lived a hero of unparalleled strength, or Heracles in Greek mythology, son of Zeus, king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman. Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took his first breath. Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took his first breath. Hercules was destined for greatness from the moment he took his first breath. As Hercules grew, so did his strength, surpassing that of any mortal man. However, his path to glory was not without trials. His stepmother, Hera, despised him for being the son of Zeus and sought to thwart his destiny at every turn. Hera's jealousy led her to inflict madness upon Hercules, causing him to unknowingly commit a terrible crime, the murder of his own wife and children. Overcome with grief and remorse upon realizing what he had done, Hercules sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi, who declared that he must serve King Eurystheus and complete 12 seemingly impossible tasks, known as the 12 labors, to atone for his sins. And so, Hercules set out on his epic journey, each labor more daunting than the last. 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 Than the last.
Wait for the plane to pass by. Bum, 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 bum. All right. All right, now let's move on to recording the labors. Or start to. The first of the 12 labors was the Nemean lion. As Hercules ventured into the dark depths of the Nemean forest, he encountered the dreaded lion, its mane bristling with power, and its claws sharper than any blade. With sheer strength and cunning, Hercules grappled with the lion, finally choking the life out of it with his bare hands. As he returned to King Eurystheus, the townsfolk marveled at the sight of Hercules, draped in the impenetrable hide of the lion, a testament to his unmatched prowess. The second of his labors was the Lernaean Hydra. In the murky swamps of Lerna, Hercules confronted the Hydra, each of its heads hissing venom and malice. With each blow, the Hydra seemed to multiply, its heads regenerating faster than Hercules could sever them. Yet, with the aid of his nephew, Lolos, okay, we'll have to do that one again. The 12 labors was the Nemean lion. As Hercules ventured into the dark depths of the Nemean forest, he the first of the 12 labors was the Nemean lion. As Hercules ventured into the dark
The first of the 12 labors was the Nemean lion. As Hercules ventured into the dark depths of the Nemean forest, he encountered the dreaded lion, its mane bristling with power, and its claws sharper than any blade. With sheer strength and cunning, Hercules grappled with the lion, finally choking the life out of it with his bare hands. As he returned to King Eurystheus, the townsfolk marveled at the sight of Hercules, draped in the impenetrable hide of the lion, a testament to his unmatched prowess.
Sorry, just editing this script a little bit so I have an easier time reading it. I'm just saying at the beginning of each of the labors, like the fifth of his 12 labors was that of this, or this. The sixth of his 12 labors was that of the Stymphalian birds. I actually don't know all of his labors by heart. I should, because I wear him around my neck every day. Okay, there we go. All right, let's try again. Oh. Hold on. I'm gonna go to the washroom real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So let's continue on. The first of his 12 labors was that of the Nemean lion. As Hercules ventured into the dark depths of the Nemean forest, he encountered the dreaded lion, its mane bristling with power, and its claws sharper than any blade. With sheer strength and cunning, Hercules grappled with the lion, finally choking the life out of it with his bare hands. As he returned to King Eurystheus, the townsfolk marveled at the sight of Hercules, draped in the impenetrable hide of the lion, a testament to his unmatched prowess. Shit, I still need to know how to pronounce that. Whoops. Should probably look at this. Iolaus?
Ioius. Ioius.
Ioius. Iolaus.
Iolaus. Iolaus.
Iolaus. Iolaus. That's a cool name. Iolaus. Iolaus. Ceryneian hide. Hind. Okay. I think we got it now. So we'll go with the first 3 labors, edit, and then or we'll go with the first 4 labors. We'll do that. The first 4. The first of his 12 labors was that of the Nemean lion. As Hercules ventured into the dark depths of the Nemean forest, he encountered the dreaded lion, its mane bristling with power, and its claws sharper than any blade. With sheer strength and cunning, Hercules grappled with the lion, finally choking the life out of it with his bare hands. As he returned to King Eurystheus, the townsfolk marveled at the sight of Hercules, draped in the impenetrable hide of the lion, a testament to his unmatched prowess. The second of his 12 labors was that of the Lernaean Hydra. In the murky swamps of Lerna, Hercules confronted the Hydra, each of its heads hissing venom and malice. With each blow, the Hydra seemed to multiply, its heads regenerating faster than Hercules could sever them. Yet, with the aid of his nephew, Iolaus, Hercules devised a cunning plan, as Iolaus. God damn it, I messed it up again. Oh, we're getting good practice. I didn't have it set up at the last one. I forgot to pronounce it.
Iolaus.
Iolaus. Yet, with the aid of his nephew, Iolaus. 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 Yet, its heads regenerating faster than Hercules could sever them. Yet, with the aid of his nephew, Iolaus, Hercules devised a cunning plan. As Iolaus seared each stump with a torch, Hercules cleaved through the serpents' heads until only one remained, the immortal head, which he buried beneath a massive rock. The third of his 12 labors was that of the Cernian hind. For a full year, Hercules pursued the elusive Cernian hind through the rugged wilderness, its golden antlers glinting in the dappled sunlight. With each step, the hind led Hercules deeper into the heart of the forest, testing his endurance and resolve. Finally, after a grueling chase, Hercules managed to ensnare the hind, its gentle eyes betraying its wild spirit as he carried it back to King Eurystheus. The fourth of his 12 labors was that of the Eurymanthian boar. Amidst the snow-capped peaks of Mount Eurymanthos, Hercules Hercules faced the raging boar, its tusks gleaming like ivory in the wintry air. With swift reflexes and unyielding strength, Hercules wrestled the beast into submission, binding it with sturdy ropes before presenting it to King Eurystheus, who cowered in fear at the sight of the monstrous creature. The fifth of his 12 labors was that of the The fifth of his 12 labors was that of the Augean stables. The fifth of his 12 labors was that of the Augean stables. As Hercules stood before the vast expanse of the Augean stables, he beheld the mountain of filth and dung that accumulated over countless years. Undaunted, Hercules diverted the coursing rivers with skillful precision, unleashing their mighty torrents to cleanse the stables in a single day, the waters washing away the foul stench and grime. The sixth of his 12 labors was that of the Stymphalian birds. In the shadowy depths of Lake Stymphalus, Hercules confronted the flock of ravenous birds, their metallic feathers glinting ominously in the moonlight. With the resounding clash of his bronze rattle, Hercules sent the birds into a frenzy. His arrows pierced their armored plumage as they fell from the sky like shards of shattered steel. The seventh of his 12 labors was that of Hercules' 12 labors. Okay. Yeah, that sounds better. The seventh of Hercules' 12 labors was that of the Cretan bull. Across the sun-scorched plains of Crete, Hercules pursued the raging of Crete. Is that right?
The disc that was discovered off of Crete, that's 4,000 years.
Crete. That's it. Crete.
Thrace.
Thrace. Thrace. Thrace. Thrace. Thrace. The eighth of Hercules' 12 labors was that of the horses of Diomedes. Amid the blood-stained sands of Thrace, Hercules faced the savage steeds of Diomedes, their eyes blazing with fury and hunger. In a ferocious battle, Hercules subdued the wild beasts, their frenzied neighs silenced forever, as he tamed them with the iron grip of his will. The ninth of Hercules' 12 labors was that of the belt of Hippolyta. The belt of Hippolyta. Hippolyta. Hippolyta.
Hippolyta.
Hippolyta. Hippolyta. The belt of Hippolyta. The belt of Hippolyta. Beneath the shadowed bows of the... A lot of these words I do not know how to pronounce properly.
Bows.
Bows. I always mess up that word. Beneath the shadowed boughs of the Amazonian forest, Hercules sought the golden girdle of Queen Hippolyta. Of Queen Hippolyta, its gleaming links a symbol of her sovereignty. Yet, amid the clash of bronze and the cries of battle, a tragic misunderstanding ensued, leading to the untimely demise of the noble queen and the acquisition of her prized belt. The 10th of Hercules' 12 labors was that of the cattle of Geryon. Across the sun-baked plains of Erythea, Across the sun-baked plains of Erythea, Hercules faced the colossal giant, Geryon, his triple forms a towering testament to his monstrous power. With a mighty roar, Hercules engaged the giant in a titanic struggle, his club crashing down upon Geryon's flesh as he drove the stolen cattle back to King Eurystheus, their lowing voices a chorus of triumph. The 11th of Hercules' 12 labors was that of the apples of the Hesperides. Hesperides.
Hesperides.
Hesperides, that's right. Okay. Well, at least I corrected myself there. So, Hesperides. Amidst the verdant groves of the apples of the Hesperides. Amidst the verdant groves of the Hesperides, Hercules confronted the fearsome dragon, Ladon.
Κλαδόν.
Ladon. Confronted the fearsome dragon, Ladon. Ladon. Its serpentine coils coiled around the sacred tree that bore the golden apples. With the weight of the heavens upon his shoulders, Hercules enlisted the aid of the Titan Atlas, his weary frame trembling beneath the celestial burden as he plucked the apples from the tree's boughs. The 12th and final labor of Hercules was that of the capture of Cerberus. In the dim recesses of the underworld, Hercules braved the Stygian depths, his heart resolute in the face of death's cold embrace. With the aid of Hermes and Athena, he faced the dread hound Cerberus, its 3 heads snarling and snapping at the fringes of his vision. With unyielding determination, Hercules seized the beast by its iron collar, dragging it back to the land of the living as a testament to his indomitable will. That's crazy. He just dragged it through the collar. And so, Hercules' feats of strength and bravery became legendary throughout Greece, immortalizing him as one of the greatest heroes of all time. Despite facing countless challenges and enduring unimaginable hardships, Hercules emerged triumphant, proving that even the mightiest of obstacles could be overcome with courage, determination, and the will to atone for one's past mistakes. All right. I think we'll take another quick break, and when we return, we'll do an hour, just under an hour of reading. We'll continue Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, ladies and gents, it's time for the last section of the stream, which is going to be our reading. We'll continue with Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. Last time we left off, what did we talk about? To worry about, well, yes, we talked about to worry about what is of concern in the present. And we just started the book 5, the 5th book. So let us continue, shall we? All right. And then before we continue, I like to always All right. Let us continue with Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and we will go from here. 8. Just as you overhear people saying that the doctor prescribed such and such for him, like riding, or cold baths, or walking barefoot, say this: nature prescribed illness for him, or blindness, or the loss of a limb, or whatever. There, prescribed means something like ordered, so as to further his recovery. And so too here. What happens to each of us is ordered. It furthers our destiny. And when we describe things as taking place, we're talking like builders, who say that blocks in a wall or a pyramid take their place in the structure and fit together in a harmonious pattern. For there is a single harmony, just as the world forms a single body comprising all bodies, so fate forms a single purpose, comprising all purposes. Even complete illiterates acknowledge it when they say that something brought on this or that. Brought on, yes, or prescribed it. And in that case, let's accept it, as we accept what the doctor prescribes. It may not always be pleasant, but we embrace it, because we want to get well. Look at the accomplishment of nature's plans in that light, the way you look at your own health, and accept what happens, even if it seems hard to accept. Accept it because of what it leads to, the good health of the world, and the well-being and prosperity of Zeus himself, who would not have brought this on anyone unless it brought benefit to the world as a whole. No nature would do that, bring something about that wasn't beneficial to what it governed. So there are 2 reasons to embrace what happens. One is that it's happening to you. It was prescribed for you, and it pertains to you. The thread was spun long ago.
by the oldest cause of all. The other reason is that what happens to an individual is a cause of well-being in what directs the world, of its well-being, its fulfillment, of its very existence even. Because the whole is damaged if you cut away anything at all, from its continuity and its coherence. Not only in parts, but its purposes. And that's what you're doing when you complain, hacking and destroying. 9. Not to feel exasperated or defeated or despondent because your days aren't packed with wise and moral actions, but to get back up when you fail, to celebrate behaving like a human, however imperfectly, and fully embrace the pursuit that you've embarked on. And not to think of philosophy as your instructor, but as the sponge and egg white that relieve ophthalmia, as a soothing ointment, a warm lotion. Not showing off your obedience to the Logos, but resting in it. Remember, philosophy requires only what your nature already demands. What you've been after is something else again, something unnatural. But what could be preferable? That's exactly how pleasure traps us, isn't it? Wouldn't magnanimity be preferable? Or freedom? Honesty? Prudence? Piety? And is there anything preferable to thought itself? To logic? To understanding? Think of their sure-footedness, their fluent stillness. 10. Things are wrapped in such a veil of mystery that many good philosophers have found it impossible to make sense of them. Even the Stoics have trouble. Any assessment we make is subject to alteration, just as we are ourselves. Look closely at them, how impermanent they are, how meaningless. Things that a pervert can own, a whore, a thief. Then look at the way people around you behave. Even the best of them are hard to put up with, not to mention putting up with yourself. In such deep darkness, such a sewer, in the flux of material, of time, of motion, and things moved, I don't know what there is to value or to work for. Quite the contrary. We need to comfort ourselves and wait for dissolution, and not get impatient in the meantime, but take refuge in these two things. 1. Nothing can happen to me that isn't natural. 2. I can keep from doing anything that God and my own spirit don't approve. No one can force me to. 11. What am I doing with my soul? Interrogate yourself to find out what inhabits your so-called mind and what kind of soul you have now. A child's soul? An adolescent's? A woman's? A tyrant's soul? The soul of a predator? Or its prey? 12. Another way to grasp what ordinary people mean by goods. Suppose you took certain things as touchstones of goodness, prudence, self-control, justice, and courage. Say, if you understood goods as meaning those, you wouldn't be able to follow that line about so many goods, it wouldn't make any sense to you. Whereas if you'd internalize the conventional meaning, you'd be able to follow it perfectly. You'd have no trouble seeing the author's meaning and why it was funny. Which shows that most people do acknowledge a distinction. Otherwise, we wouldn't recognize the first sense as jarring and reject it automatically. Whereas we accept the second, the one referring to wealth and the benefits of celebrity and high living, as amusing and apropos. Now go a step further. Ask yourself whether we should accept as goods and should value the things we have to think of to have the line make sense. The ones whose abundance leaves their owner with no place to shit. 13. I am made up of substance and what animates it, and neither one can ever stop existing any more than it began to. Every portion of me will be reassigned as another portion of the world, and that, in turn, excuse me, transformed into another, ad infinitum. Every portion of me will be reassigned as another portion of the world, and that in turn transformed into another, ad infinitum. I was produced through one such transformation, and my parents too, and so on back, ad infinitum. NB still holds good, even if the world goes through recurrent cycles. 14. The Logos and its employment are forces sufficient for themselves and for their works. They start from their own beginning. They proceed to the appointed end. We call such activities directed, from the directness of their course. 15. Nothing pertains to human beings except what defines us as a human. No other things can be demanded of us. They aren't proper to human nature, nor is it incomplete without them. It follows that they are not our goal, or what helps us reach it, the good. If any of them were proper to us, it would be improper to disdain or resist it, nor would we admire people who show themselves immune to it. If the things themselves were good, it could hardly be good to give them up. But in reality, the more we deny ourselves such things, and things like them, or are deprived of them involuntarily, even, the better we become. "16. The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Color it with a run of thoughts like these. 1. Anywhere you can lead your life, you can lead a good one. Lives are led at court. Then good ones can be. 2. Things gravitate toward what they were intended for. What things gravitate toward is their goal. A thing's goal is what benefits it. It's good. A rational being's good is unselfishness, what we were born for. That's nothing new. Remember? Lower things for the sake of higher ones, and higher ones for one another. Things that have consciousness are higher than those that don't, and those with the Logos still higher. "17. It is crazy to want what is impossible, and impossible for the wicked not to do so. 18. Nothing happens to anyone that he can't endure. The same thing happens to other people, and they weather it unharmed, out of sheer obliviousness or because they want to display character. Is wisdom really so much weaker than ignorance and vanity? 19. Things have no hold on the soul. They have no access to it, cannot move or direct it. It is moved and directed by itself alone. It takes the things before it and interprets them as it sees fit. In a sense, people are our proper occupation. Our job is to do them good and put up with them. But when they obstruct our proper tasks, they become irrelevant to us, like sun, wind, animals. Our actions may be impeded by them, but there can be no impeding our intentions or our dispositions, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes, the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Interesting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. 21. Honor that which is the greatest in the world, that on whose business all things are employed, and by whom they are governed. And honor what is greatest in yourself, the part that shares its nature with that power. All things, in you as well, are employed about its business, and your life is governed by it. 22. If it does not harm the community, it does not harm its members. When you think you've been injured, apply this rule. If the community isn't injured by it, neither am I. And if it is, anger is not the answer. Show the offender where he went wrong. 23. Keep in mind how fast things pass by and are gone. Those that are now, and those to come. Existence flows past us like a river. The what is in constant flux. The why has 1,000 variations. Nothing is stable, not even what's right here. The infinity of past and future gapes before us, a chasm whose depths we cannot see. So it would take an idiot to feel self-importance or distress, or any indignation either, as if the things that irritate us lasted. 24. Remember, matter, how tiny your share of it. Time, how brief and fleeting your allotment of it. Fate, how small a role you play in it. 25. So, other people hurt me? That's their problem. Their character and actions are not mine. What is done to me is ordained by nature. What I do, by my own. 26. The mind is the ruler of the soul. It should remain unstirred by agitations of the flesh, gentle and violent ones alike, not mingling with them, but fencing itself off and keeping those feelings in their place. When they make their way into your thoughts, through the sympathetic link between mind and body, don't try to resist the sensation. The sensation is natural, but don't let the mind start in with judgments, calling it good or bad. 27. To live with the gods, and to do that is to show them that your soul accepts what is given and does what the Spirit requires. The Spirit God gave each of us to lead and guide us, a fragment of Himself, which is our mind, our logos. 28. Don't be irritated at people's smell or bad breath. What's the point? With that mouth, with those armpits, they're going to produce that odor. But they have a brain. Can't they figure it out? Can't they recognize the problem? So you have a brain as well. Good for you. Then use your logic to awaken his. Show him. Make him realize it. If he'll listen, then you'll have solved the problem without anger. 28a. Neither player king nor prostitute. 29. You can live here as you expect to live there. And if they won't let you, you can depart life now and forfeit nothing. If the smoke makes me cough, I can leave. What's so hard about that? Until things reach that point, I'm free. No one can keep me from doing what I want. And I want what is proper to rational beings, living together. 30. The world's intelligence is not selfish. It created lower things for the sake of higher ones, and attuned the higher ones to look to one another. Look how it subordinates, how it connects, how it assigns each thing what each deserves, and brings the better things into alignment. 31. How have you behaved to the gods, to your parents, to your siblings, to your wife, to your children, to your teachers, to your nurses, to your friends, to your relatives, to your slaves? Have they all had from you nothing wrong and unworthy, either word or deed? Yeah. Doesn't up, well, yeah. He's saying that especially because back then, Rome had lots of slaves. Consider all that you've gone through, all that you've survived, and that the story of your life is done, your assignment complete. How many good things have you seen? How much pain and pleasure have you resisted? How many honors have you declined? How many unkind people have you been kind to? 32. Why do other souls, unskilled, untrained, disturb the soul with skill and understanding. And which is that? The one that knows the beginning and the end, and knows the Logos, that runs through all things and that assigns to all a place, each in its allotted span, throughout the whole of time. 33. Soon you'll be ashes, or bones, a mere name, at most, and even that is just a sound, an echo. The things we want in life are empty, stale, and trivial. Dogs snarling at each other, quarreling children, laughing, and then bursting into tears a moment later. Trust, shame, justice, truth, gone from the earth and only found in heaven. Why are you still here? Sensory objects are shifting and unstable. Our senses dim and easily deceived. The soul itself, a decoction of the blood. Fame in a world like this is worthless. And so, wait for it patiently. Annihilation or metamorphosis. And until that time comes, what? Honor and revere the gods. Treat human beings as they deserve. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Remember, nothing belongs to you but your flesh and blood, and nothing else is under your control. "34. You can lead an untroubled life, provided you can grow, can think and act systematically. Two characteristics shared by gods and men, and every rational creature. 1. Not to let others hold you back. 2. To locate goodness in thinking and doing the right thing, and to limit your desires to that. 35. If this evil is not of my doing, nor the result of it, and the community is not endangered, why should it bother me? Where's the danger for the community? 36. Not to be overwhelmed by what you imagine, but just do what you can and should. And if blank suffer in inessentials, not to treat that as a defeat. Bad habit. Like the old man asking for the orphan's toy on the way out, even though he knew that's all it was. Like that. 36A. Up on the platform. Have you forgotten what's what? I know, but it's important. But it was important to them, and so you have to be an idiot as well. 37. I was once a fortunate man, but at some point, fortune abandoned me. But true good fortune is what you make for yourself. Good fortune, good character, good intentions, and good actions. And that is the end of Book 5. And we're moving right along to Book 6. Let's continue. Book 6. 1. Nature is pliable, obedient, and the logos that governs it has no reason to do evil. It knows no evil, does none, and causes harm to nothing. It dictates all beginnings and all endings. 2. Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Cold or warm, tired or well rested, despised or honored, dying or busy with other assignments. Because dying too is one of our assignments in life. There as well, to do what needs doing. 3. Look inward. Don't let the true nature or value of anything elude you. 4. Before long, all existing things will be transformed to rise like smoke, assuming all things become one, or be dispersed in fragments. 5. The Logos knows where it stands, and what it has to do, and what it has to work with. 6. The best revenge is not to be like that. 7. To move from one unselfish action to another with God in mind. Only there, delight and stillness. 8. The mind is that which is roused and directed by itself. It makes of itself what it chooses. It makes what it chooses of its own experience. 9. Everything is brought about by nature, not by anything beyond it, or within it, or apart from it. 10. Mixture, interaction, dispersal, or unity, order, design. Suppose. Why would I want to live in disorder and confusion? Why would I care about anything except the eventual dust to dust? And why would I feel any anxiety? Dispersal is certain, whatever I do. Or suppose, reverence, serenity, faith in the power responsible. 11. When jarred, unavoidably, by circumstances, revert at once to yourself, and don't lose the rhythm more than you can help. You'll have a better grasp of the harmony if you keep on going back to it. 12. If you had a stepmother, and a real mother, you would pay your respects to your stepmother, yes. But it's your real mother you'd go home to. The court and philosophy. Keep returning to it, to rest in its embrace. It's all that makes the court and you endurable. 13. Like seeing roasted meat and other dishes in front of you, and suddenly realizing, this is a dead fish, a dead bird, a dead pig, or that this noble vintage is grape juice, and the purple robes are sheep wool dyed with shellfish blood, or making love, something rubbing against your penis, a brief seizure, and a little cloudy liquid. Perceptions like that, latching onto things and piercing through them. so we see what they really are. That's what we need to do all the time. All through our lives when things lay claim to our trust, to lay them bare and see how pointless they are, to strip away the legend that encrusts them. Pride is a master of deception. When you think you're occupied in the weightiest business, that's when he has you in his spell. Compare Crates on Xenocrates. Xenocrates. "14. Things ordinary people are impressed by fall into the categories of things that are held together by simple physics, like stones or wood, or by natural growth, figs, vines, olives. Those admired by more advanced minds are held together by a living soul, flocks of sheep, herds of cows. Still, more sophisticated people admire what is guided by a rational mind, not the universal mind, but one admired for its technical knowledge, or for some other skill, or just because it happens to own a lot of slaves. But those who revere that other mind, the one we all share, as humans and as citizens, aren't interested in other things. Their focus is on the state of their own minds, to avoid all selfishness and illogic, and to work with others to achieve that goal. 15. Some things are rushing into existence, others out of it. Some of what now exists is already gone. Change and flux constantly remake the world, just as the incessant progression of time remakes eternity. We find ourselves in a river. Which of the things around us should we value? Which of the things around us should we value when none of them can offer a firm foothold? Like an attachment to a sparrow, we glimpse it, and it's gone. And life itself, like the decoction of blood, the drawing in of air, we expel the power of breathing we drew in at birth, just yesterday or the day before, breathing it out like the air we exhale at each moment. 16. What is it in ourselves that we should prize? Not just transpiration, even plants do that, or respiration, even beasts and wild animals breathe, or being struck by passing thoughts, or jerked like a puppet by your own impulses, or moving in herds, or eating and relieving yourself afterwards. Then what is to be prized? An audience clapping? No. No more than the clacking of their tongues, which is all that public praise amounts to, a clacking of tongues. So we throw out other people's recognition. What's left for us to prize? I think it's this: to do and not do what we were designed for. That's the goal of all trades, all arts, and what each of them aims at. That the thing they create should do what it was designed to do. The nurseryman who cares for the vines, the horse trainer, the dog breeder, this is what they aim at. And teaching and education,
What else are they trying to accomplish? So that's what we should prize. Hold on to that, and you won't be tempted to aim at anything else. And if you can't stop prizing a lot of other things, then you'll never be free. Free. Independent. Imperturbable. 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 Because you'll always be envied and jealous, afraid that people might come and take it all away from you, plotting against those who have those things you prize. People who need those things are bound to be a mess, and bound to take out their frustrations on the gods. Whereas to respect your own mind, to prize it, will leave you satisfied with your own self, well integrated into your community, and in tune with the gods as well, embracing what they allot you, and what they ordain. 17. The elements move upward, downward, in all directions. The motion of virtue is different, deeper. It moves at a steady pace on a road hard to discern, and always forward. 18. The way people behave. They refuse to admire their contemporaries, the people whose lives they share. No, but to be admired by posterity, people they've never met and never will. That's what they set their hearts on. You might as well be upset at not being a hero to your great-grandfather. 19. Not to assume it's impossible because you find it hard, but to recognize that if it's humanly possible, you can do it too. And with that, our time is up. I think we will end our reading there for today. Very interesting stuff, as always, from Marcus Aurelius. Well, with that, I would like to thank all of you very much who tuned into the stream today. Thank you, thank you. And I will be streaming again tomorrow. Hopefully. Actually, probably not, because I have an important meeting tomorrow. So I think I will do my next stream on Thursday. So I will see you all on Thursday. So until then, thank you so much everybody for tuning in, and we will be at part 50 on Thursday. That's crazy to me. Part 50 of this series of the journey to becoming a voice actor. Crazy. Crazy to think that I started this almost 4 months ago now. By next week, it'll be 4 months. That's crazy to me. Time flies. So until then, thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next stream. Take care, everyone.